Hi, I'm Shelby Sim. Welcome to the Ynez Valley. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be going to beautiful spots, tasting amazing wine and food, even visiting some ostriches. So join us as we discover the Ynez Valley. Our tour begins in the Danish village of Solvang, where travelers from around the world can enjoy windmills, shops, traditional food, and exciting activities. It's centrally located, which makes it a perfect place to stay on your vacation. Solvang has a plethora of bed and breakfasts, hotels, and inns. Today, we're going to be talking with Jonathan, owner of the Mirabelle Inn. Jonathan, thank you so much for having us today.
It's great to see you, Shelby. Welcome.
Awesome. You as well. Tell us a little bit about your property.
Sure. So this is the Mirabelle Inn. It's my family's hotel. We took it over in 2015. It was originally started in 1993 as a storybook inn. So you know we're in Solvang, which is a beautiful Danish town, and it was themed after all the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales.
Okay.
So we changed it a little bit. We did a remodel in 2015 when we took it over.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, a lot of hard work and effort went to it.
Yeah.
And my dad grew up in France in the countryside, so we wanted to give it this like really beautiful wine country kind of vibe where there's a little bit of old, there's a little bit of new, peppered in throughout the whole property.
That's fantastic. And then you have a restaurant on site as well.
We have a restaurant, First and Oak. It's a beautiful, really fun restaurant. You get to create your own tasting menu, all inspired by items that come locally throughout the whole valley.
Wow, and it's kind of one of the higher end restaurants in the Ynez Valley. And in fact, you just got a prestigious award.
We did. We got a Michelin plate.
Wow.
Which is really exciting. It just shows that all that hard work, and we thought that maybe our concept was a little too avant-garde or is it too fancy, but we wanted to still keep it casual, and it's kind of fun that we were able to still achieve a Michelin plate.
That's fantastic. What a great thing to have in the Ynez Valley, to have that kind of recognition.
Thank you.
So Jonathan, tell us a little bit more about the food and what you have to offer here.
Sure. So First and Oak was a fun concept. The concept kind of came out of the idea of we would go to restaurants and we would order all the appetizers and make our own like tasting. And we found a lot of entrees to be kind of boring. So we found the idea of, okay, let's make it where we can sample lots of plates. But I want to make it where the guest gets the decision, not the chef. So the menu is a tasting menu. There's about 20 different plates to choose from. And the guest gets to choose 3, 4, or 5 courses. The chef that set it up with me, his name's Steven Snook. He comes from Gordon Ramsay's 3 Michelin star restaurants all throughout the world. He opened up the London Hotel in New York City. So the man is an incredible chef.
Yeah.
But it's not about, how can I manipulate the food? It's if I'm going to serve you a carrot, I'm going to serve you the best carrot you've ever had. So it's really about ingredients that are identifiable, but they're prepared in such a way that you would never be able to do it yourself.
So you're not getting large entrees. You want people to sample different things and enjoy the meals and taste different wines along with those.
Of course. So it depends on how hungry you are. You know, I think a 4-course menu is perfect. You have an appetizer, you have a seafood course, a meat course, then you finish with dessert. And then of course that allows me as a sommelier the opportunity to pair different wines, to showcase. I mean, there's over 200 wineries locally that you can taste, and we'll pick different wineries, we'll pair them with different items, and the whole goal is the food and wine. One should make the other better.
Right, great. And you've recently expanded into a food truck?
Yeah, so we got a little crazy, and my dad wanted to make crepes. So we have a food truck with crepe wheels and a full-blown kitchen. And not only do we make crepes, but we'll go around and we'll do things from like a fine dining wedding to serving gourmet tacos. One of our signature tacos, it's a rabbit taco with a homemade chocolate mole, tomatillo sauce, and avocado. So it's not your standard tacos, but they're good.
I can remember at one event having, I think it was an eggs and bacon taco. And it was incredible. Very innovative and fun. What do your visitors enjoy about this area and about the hotel?
Of course, anywhere in Solvang, you're walking distance to everything. So that's nice, but we're just a little bit off the beaten path. So the proximity to just being where it's a little quiet, you can come, you can rest, you can repair. I mean, we all know that we're plugged in 24/7. So when you come to the valley, we want you to see nature. We want you to walk around. We want you to
take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath, exactly. I think that's really important nowadays.
And you're really close to the open air theater here, the Solvang Theater Fest?
Oh yeah, the Theater Fest goes on all summer. I saw one of the shows a couple weeks ago and it was amazing. They had some of the tours, so they had some of the cast from the national tour. So it's really a small theater.
Yeah.
Anywhere you sit, you've got a great seat. You just need to make sure you wear a jacket because it gets cool.
It's cold when it's in the evening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to tell us about this amazing property?
Well, so the Mirabelle, there's 13 rooms. So you're going to get personalized service, you're going to meet people, you're going to see our staff all the time. They're going to make sure that everything's perfect. And you'll see some cool antiques from the 1800s, and you'll see myself, and I'm a sommelier, and we'll put wine in your room and lots of goodies and treats, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the wine connection.
So we make wine in the valley, and that's kind of what put us into the Mirabelle Inn. We wanted to have more roots. We wanted to bring our guests and customers that come to the winery. The winery is called Coquelicot. The estate is all certified organic. So it kind of goes into our whole philosophy. We try to cut back on plastic. We try to cut back on waste. Organic is what we really believe in. So same with the food in the restaurant. Yeah. So that's kind of our connection to the wine.
I've had the chance to sample and/or drink a bunch of your wine, and it's fantastic. How can folks learn more about the Mirabelle Inn and First and Oak Restaurant?
Sure, you can go to our website, mirabelleinn.com. or firstandoak.com, and then we're always on social media, Mirabelle Inn, SYV, and First and Oak.
Fantastic. Jonathan, really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Shelby.
Mirabelle Inn, First and Oak Restaurant, check it out. Now that we're checked in, let's pay a visit to some feathered friends who call Santa Ynez Valley home. This is Ostrich Land USA. Blake, thanks a lot for having us out today.
Absolutely.
It's good to see you.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the farm.
Well, you're standing here at Ostrich Land. We have 130 birds roughly on 32 acres. We have ostriches and emus, and we've had this business for about 18 years now, and we invite customers from all over the world, tourists, whoever, to come visit the birds, check them out, feed them, and just enjoy them.
How did it actually begin? How did the Ostrich Land come to be?
So Ostrich Land was started, I want to say in the early 90s by a South African gentleman who actually brought eggs over here. He dealt with the ostriches in South Africa, and he found this terroir, as we could say, here in wine country, and thought it was really nice and very comparable to their native land.
Was the purpose for tourism and the feeding, or was it
originally
for meat,
no?
or?
So he was selling breeding pairs. This was the big ostrich meat boom back in the day, and he was selling them for quite a lot of money. Eventually, that business didn't take off, so that's when my family stepped in. And being that we are here in the wonderful Santa Ynez Valley, we thought like, hey, let's kind of turn this into a tourist attraction. And so we did. My aunt, Trudy Brown, purchased the farm, and we kind of made it what it is today, put up some fences and invited people to come enjoy it.
Wow, well, it's a fantastic place and an incredibly horrifying and wonderful experience to feed them. What's the difference between the emu and an ostrich?
Emu and ostrich, I get this question 10 times a day. They're both flightless birds. They're both part of the ratite order, if you want to get scientific. Two totally different birds though. Ostrich being the largest bird in the world, native to South Africa, or Africa in general. And then the emu being the second largest bird in the world, native to Australia.
Huh.
Yeah. Or you could say the ostriches have 2 toes and the emus have 3 toes.
Wow. Well, thanks for that. I've always wondered. So what do you say we go check them out?
Yeah, we got to feed these bad boys.
Oh, right on. Let's go feed them. All right, we've got our feeding bowls. Let's see what we do here.
So these are 4 female ostriches, but as you can see, they eat like teenage boys. They have no manners, no.
Velociraptors.
Yeah. They're very prehistoric animals.
So Blake, how many ostriches are here?
We have about 80 ostriches here, including 3 5-month-old babies that we currently have.
5-month-old babies. How cool. How often do they hatch?
Well, so we kind of control the hatching, breeding process. Basically, The hens lay eggs whenever they're ready. If they've mated, then the egg will be fertile. But we pick up the eggs daily because we sell the eggs to customers. So if anyone ever wants to buy a fresh egg, we sell them here. 45 bucks a piece.
45 bucks an egg. And they're big suckers, right?
Oh, they're huge. It's the largest single cell organism in the world.
Wow.
And the largest egg in the world.
So what's an experience like here at Ostrich Land USA for a visitor?
You know, it's really a unique experience that is geared towards the person itself. I have some people that come and hang out for 15 minutes and they love it. And I've had people stay here for 2 hours because they just can't get enough of these birds. But, you know, we're set in this wonderful backdrop on this wonderful land, and the birds love it here. The customers love to come and feed them. They love the babies.
And you have a gift shop? And
we have the gift shop where they can get, you know, feathered items, the eggs, like we said, egg shells. We have decorative eggs and a lot of boutique jewelry, and as well as stuff for the kids in the gift shop as well, stuffed animals and stuff like that.
How can folks learn more about Ostrich Land USA?
By stopping by and coming here.
Right on. Do you have a website?
We have websites. We're on social media. We have the wonderful ostrich wings that you can take a photo in front of. Plenty of photo ops here. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram.
And that's Ostrich Land USA.
Ostrich Land USA, yep.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Seeing those ostriches chowing down reminded me it's time to eat. What's great about the Ynez Valley is how close everything is. Just a few miles away is the quaint town of Los Alamos, where you'll find a mix of mid-century, modern, rustic, and Old West. Let's head into the Los Alamos General Store, which has been remodeled into the fantastic Pico restaurant. Will, oh my goodness, there's so much here to talk about. And not only this, but this incredible space. Can you tell us a little bit about Pico and how it came to be?
Sure. So we're in the original general store building of the town of Los Alamos. The town was founded in 1879. This building went up in 1880.
Wow.
Which makes it, I believe, the oldest building that's still standing in town. When we moved in here about 4 years ago, it was an art gallery and a little cafe on one side. So we really transformed the main space into a great big high ceiling dining room. My wife and I opened it initially thinking that we were just gonna have a tasting room in this large building and rent the rest of the space out. But then we found an incredible chef, and it just made perfect sense to open a great restaurant in a town that already had a few great restaurants, but I guess really to help put it more on the map.
Absolutely, and it certainly has. And I mean, not only innovative, but delicious, and not just the incredible food that we're going to get into in a moment, but wine, and you have a wine background.
I do. So I was already making wine here in Santa Barbara County, and partnered with a really amazing winemaker, Lane Tanner, learning winemaking from her. And that's really what led me to love this town. It's got a great vibe. There aren't many towns really like this left in California, where you've got, you know, a tiny little main street of a few blocks long and great little shops and places to taste wine and eat great food. So I did fall in love with the town, and it was really the winemaking that led me into the food side of the business. Of course, there are two things that go really well together.
Yes.
And I got quite a food education from really, I think, one of the greatest foodies in California, which is my father. You know, I had the luck of having a dad that was in the wine business, but also a huge lover of food. So really, I think at the back of my brain always was the concept of opening a restaurant. I finally now have both, a marriage of food and wine.
Congratulations. Well, you've done a great job with it. I did wine tours up here for many, many years before I moved up here, and I have this role of ambassador to the Ynez Valley, which I feel incredibly lucky to do. It used to be that, you know, we had wine. We've had wine for 30, 40, 50 years here in the Ynez Valley, but the food is fairly new. It used to be you'd have to go into another town to have dinner, but now that town comes here to have dinner. This is the special place in all of Santa Barbara County to come up here. So thank you for that. You want to kind of take us through what we have out here?
Yeah, sure. Here we have our charcuterie board, and our chef, Drew Terp, does all house prepared charcuterie. So we have a large smoker in the backyard. So we salt cures, smokes, and dry ages all of the charcuterie that's on this plate.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Can't wait to dig in. And before we do, though, what wine do we have out here in front of us?
So we have the white wine is an Ynez from Italy, and the red wine is Lumen's Martian Ranch Grenache. It's a very special bottling of single vineyard Grenache from a vineyard right here in Los Alamos.
Cheers.
I do white, I do red.
Wow. All right, well, I want to dig into that, but let's talk about the salad.
So this is the mushroom lettuce bacon salad, or the MLB salad. It's been on the menu since we opened. It's actually the only item that I won't let the chef take off.
Wow.
So this has house-smoked bacon, a medley of 3 different wild mushrooms on top of a bed of arugula lettuce, and then some shaved manchego cheese on top of that. And this is a very popular signature dish that we have here at Pico.
It looks amazing.
And then the other dish that we have here, which is our beef tataki, and that's thinly sliced ribeye steak with cured egg yolk that's shaved on top of it. And below it is a little bit of arugula lettuce, and then our mojo verde potatoes, which are baby potatoes that are cooked over salt. And then they have this beautiful mojo verde sauce on top, which is a cilantro, sherry, garlic sauce.
Wow. My goodness.
So our chef, he's really trained all over the world, and he's worked under some really incredible Michelin star chefs. Most notably are Jose Andres, being a Spanish chef, and then Masa, Japanese. So, we really do have an interesting melding of cuisines and cultures here.
That's fantastic. Well, if you'll excuse us a moment, we're gonna dig in, and we'll check in with you in a minute. Will, this is amazing. Thanks again for having us. One thing I'd like to talk about is the photos. I noticed that there's a lot of old classic photos, but then also modern. What's the story with that?
Well, we really wanted to give some credit to the history that we have in this town, and also this building, obviously. So the old photos are all photographs taken from 2 of the historical museums in the area. They were all photographed here in Los Alamos over the past. So, when you have a 100-year plus history in this little town, there's obviously some really cool moments that have been captured throughout that history. So we have a lot of them up here on the wall in mural-sized prints.
Yeah.
And then I was a photographer for many years, and I guess technically still am. I did study, I have a master's degree in photography.
Wow.
So I put some of my personal portfolio up on the wall in one of the rooms here. And interestingly enough, a lot of those photos were of old objects that were found in the landscape. So it does kind of play in nicely with the vintage photos as well.
That's great. Well, how can folks learn more about Pico Restaurant and Los Alamos General Store?
The best way is to visit our website, which is picolosalamos.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram under Pico Los Alamos as well.
And the wine?
And then the wine, Lumen Wines, so lumenwines.com, and also Lumen Wines on Instagram and Facebook.
Will, thank you so much for having us. It's been a great adventure, and the food and the wine's incredible.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.
There's no better way to cap off a fantastic day in the Santa Ynez Valley than a wine tasting, and we're about to visit a winery that is all about custom experiences. Let's explore Brave and Maiden Winery in Santa Ynez. Leslie, thank you so much for having us today. It's so great to be here in your beautiful facility. Tell us a little bit about Brave and Maiden. How did it come to be?
Yeah, so Brave and Maiden was actually established in 2011 with our very first vintage, but our tasting room has been open since September of 2018. So we're about to celebrate our first year, first anniversary of being open.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The entire facility was opened in 2018, including our production facility. So previously, all of our wines were made at a custom crush facility in Santa Maria, but with 2018, we got to have our very first harvest on site.
Fantastic, but all the grapes are estate?
Yes. Yeah.
Since 2011.
So our first vintage was released in 2011, but the vineyard was actually planted in 1996.
96.
So it's been established and taken care of by Coastal Vineyard Care, which is a great vineyard company that oversees the property.
Absolutely, yeah, they do a lot of great vineyards in the Ynez Valley. So what do you specialize in? I know that the Ynez Valley has 88 varietals. What does Brave and Maiden do?
We are known for our Cabernet Sauvignon, but we also do Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, Grenache, Syrah, and Sauvignon Blanc.
Wow, and what do I have here before me that I really fighting myself not digging into?
In front of you, we have this beautiful lineup of both Bordeaux and Rhone varietals. So we're featuring currently on our flight our Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and then a special blend that we call Rule of Thirds, which is our GSM blend.
Rule of Thirds, and that sounds cool. What Rule of Thirds?
Yeah, Rule of Thirds, it's actually coined after a photography concept, where when you're taking a photo, you want to have the thing that you're featuring in that photo, what you're focusing on, basically in the crosshairs of horizontal and vertical lines. And we like to play into part of our story with film. Our managing director did film for President Obama in the White House. So we wanted to stick with a term that was close to home.
Very cool. So I'm showing up, and what is my experience like here at Brave and Maiden?
Yeah, so when guests, everything is by appointment. So appointments are made in advance. Well, guests will show up to our gate, they'll call in, and from the moment they get greeted to the gate, it's all customized. And the experience is very individualized. We like to celebrate things for our guests, whether it's anniversary or birthday, even customized menus, so really paying attention to the details. Guests walk up, they get greeted at the front door. We like to have a glass of something for them to enjoy when they first arrive. And then guests will get seated for our tasting experience. We like to have all the wines lined up in front of you, so you actually get to have some fun with it. Taste wines, be able to go back, revisit, explore, compare and contrast, have fun with it.
Well, what a great environment to taste in. What is the first wine we have here?
The Cabernet Franc. All of our wines that you're currently trying are 2016 vintage. Cabernet Franc is a very unique wine because you don't get to see a lot of it 100% on its own. And it's just this beautiful aromatic wine. It's got great notes to it, and it's just this easy drinking, approachable wine that's different. It's actually I like to say the father of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Is that right? How so?
Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc eventually over time mutated to create Cabernet Franc. So it's the father to Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, very cool. And it seems like I remember a time when Cabernet Franc was very bitter at the end, or very tannin strong, and nowadays, especially here in the Ynez Valley, it's a full-bodied but very smooth ending wine. How did that come to be?
I think winemaking is not only a science, but an art craft. I think we have some of the best winemakers in Santa Barbara County that have been able to take the grapes and the varietals that we're growing, like you said, there's 88 of them, and be able to really, beautifully create wines that are approachable, they're easy to drink, but there's ageability. You can lay them down, open them in 5-10 years, and they just showcase amazingly.
Amazing. What's our second wine here?
So this is our flagship Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is going to be that very smooth finish to it. You still get those fruit flavors to it, a little bit of spice, cocoa on the finish. And this is something that pairs beautifully with food, but you don't need food to go with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't see how wine could be anything but delicious in this atmosphere, and with somebody like you guiding people through the wines. But the Cabernet Franc and this Cabernet Sauvignon are just amazing. It's kind of a new varietal for us here in the Ynez Valley. More and more wineries are going for it, and this is amazing. So congratulations on that. What do we have here?
So this is our Syrah. So 100% Syrah. You're going to get more of your boysenberry and jammy fruit with a little bit of that black pepper spice to it, but not too much.
Wow. Leslie, these are amazing wines, and I know we have one more to go, but before we get there, I understand there's customized experiences folks can have. Can you take us through the different tiers and the tours and such?
So we have 3 different experiences that we offer. We have our seated tasting experience, which is about an hour long, where you get to come in, do a seated flight as this, and you're hosted by one of our estate hosts, and we'll take you through the wines and the history and give you a kind of overall view of what Brave and Maiden is. Our next offering is our tour and tasting experience. So it's a little bit more in depth. We actually get to take you out in the vineyard, the production facility. You get to see the backstage of the winemaking process. And then it also finishes with a seated tasting. The third option that we do, which is probably my favorite experience, is having lunch after all that. So we work with local restaurants here in the valley, and it's really nice to be able to, after you've done the tour, tasting, and be seated in our facility, you can join us in our courtyard for a customized lunch. And it's just a great way to spend the day here in the Ynez Valley.
Fantastic. It's so great that it's customized. And as we spoke about it a little bit earlier today, that we've had wine here in the Ynez Valley for quite some time, but the food is fairly new on the scene, maybe 10 years. And we're where Santa Barbara County comes to eat now. So that's fantastic that not only do you have these amazing wines, but you're partnering with amazing local restaurants that source locally and very innovative and bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Thank you. What's our 4th wine?
So your 4th wine is the Rule of Thirds, our GSM blend.
Wow. Yeah, it is so good. Thank you very much, Leslie, again for having us here today. Can you tell us how can folks learn more about Brave and Maiden and get on out here?
Yeah, so you can visit our website at braveandmaiden.com. If you go to our website, you can book reservations online through our website, or you can give us a call and we'll set up a tasting for you guys. So whether it's a group of 2 or a group up to 20 or 40, whatever you're looking for. We also do private events, and we do events throughout the year to both our members and non-members.
Fantastic. How many acres is the property here?
So we have 70 acres and we have 46 planted to vine.
And everything is estate right here.
Yep.
Couldn't be more locally sourced. Again, they're doing wines that are amazing for the varietals that they're doing, and I highly recommend a visit to Brave and Maiden. Thank you so much, Leslie.
Of course.
It has been a truly wonderful day. Well, we've barely scratched the surface of what the Ynez Valley has to offer. We hope you'll join us next time to learn more. Now I'm heading back into the Mirabelle Inn to relax. See you again soon.